We're live, Jimmy Toscano. No hard hat. The Wizards don't deserve hard hats.
I thought about it, but it's the opponent. It's the opponent. The performance was hard hat worthy. The opponent.
No, it wasn't. They were sleepwalking through this. Please, Jimmy. We could have covered the spread on this game. Okay.
You know who would have won this game? Celtics media would have won this
Celtics
game.
media. I put up a poll. Up 40 with 6 minutes left. Could Celtics media have held the lead? Overwhelmingly, the answer was no. Amit can put that one in the thread. The Garden Report starts right now.
Always has to be a shot at somebody.
No.
They're never clean.
They have to run. That's the only shot they have.
They do it for 82 games. We're about to find out.
He already has shown what he's capable of.
Did surprise me. I thought we were going to hang in there.
This makes me think that we do need to be humble.
I actually think you're the only one who deserved that beating. Speaking of deserve a beating, listen.
Wow.
We're going to get it, like, obviously it's a Celtics postgame
Washington
show,
deserves a beating.
but I do want to just get it out of the way here. Washington should be contracted at this point.
Relegation. There should be
Relegation.
Yeah,
NBA needs relegation, okay? Boomers like Nick Gelso want to remove the 3-point line. I want to start relegating teams, okay? That's what we need. Expand and then relegate. That's what we need to do, because this is a disgrace. And I will also say, if Chris Boucher can't get into a game like this,
something's up.
He might not be getting into any games at all.
He might not be long for this. He might be on Washington soon, actually.
But what have we learned? Okay, what's the thesis in this game? Well, if Jaylen Brown excels without Jason Tatum, then Derek White excels without Jaylen Brown. It's that simple, right? Addition by subtraction.
It's almost like all these players are amazing at what they do when they get the opportunity to do it. Like, who would have thought?
NBA.
Who would have thought that they would have made it all the way to the NBA?
I cannot wait for Giannis. I cannot wait for Giannis and Thanasis in Boston. This is when you want to know when I start going to media availabilities, when you import a couple of Greeks over here, and then I'm going to go over and I'm just going to start chatting it up with those guys.
Yep.
You know, Giannis, Giannis. You know, we're just going to go back and forth. Couple of Yannis hanging out. That's how we do it. That's how we're going to do it. But anyway, I mean, look, headlines. Derek White's still good. Everyone chill. But I don't know how we can go anywhere else but Jordan Walsh to start this show.
Wow.
And again, I tweeted this as well. Not like my tweets really matter that much, but I mean, I said Jordan Walsh is twice as good this week as he was last week, which is twice as good as he was the week before that. Like, you're seeing exponential in-season growth right now from this guy, doing things that like he wasn't doing yesterday, finishing with the left, making good passes while on the move. You know, what a menace he was in the second quarter, an absolute menace, completely disrupted anything Washington was trying to do. Absolutely. Jimmy, I don't know how many shares of Walsh stonk you have here. You need more. Okay, buy high. You got to buy high at this point.
Yeah, I didn't have any, to be honest, for like at low. I did not have any.
Zero. I never bought any.
Yeah. I'm not going to pretend that I was like in on Bitcoin, like when it was like at pennies. I wish I was. And I wish maybe I had some Walsh stonk early on here, but
this is too low. Not 90% of Celtics fans, 99% of Celtics fans. I would have traded him for a bag of pickle flavored chips, which I think are the worst things on the planet. Disgusting. And I would have done it. Yes.
Yeah, no, we were the whole, not the whole, but a huge reason why I wasn't high on the Celtics this year is because I didn't think they had anybody after, Tatum. I mean, Jaylen, White, and Pritchard. I really didn't think they had much at all. And so I'm happy to be wrong. Listen, it's not believe it or not, it's not the first time I've been wrong. And I'm happy to be wrong. If these guys are NBA caliber players, and they have shown to be. What Walsh is giving them right now is exactly what they need. And it's going to sound cheesy or corny or whatever, but confidence, goes a long way in this league and really any league. And anything in life, really, you start to build confidence in what you're doing, and you start to believe that you belong and that you are good at this, and you stop questioning yourself, and you start to say, you know what, I belong here. I know what I'm doing. I'm one of the best in the world for a reason. I made it this far for a reason. Everything starts to fall into place. And I think for Jordan Walsh, that's all happening. And he's really, I think, focusing on the things that he's good at, which is effort, energy, defensive tenacity, and everything else is kind of falling into place. So like the offense is not something that you expect, but tonight it was there. And I think the defense for him leads to offense, and just kind of like, you know, there's no other sport in the world that, like, when you start to feel it and you start to get hot, like, it starts to roll for you. I actually think like there's something to be said about like some of the guys on the Patriots, not to cross sports, but, you know, Drake May, basketball player, kind of feel like as the game goes on with Drake May, he starts to get hot. He starts to get warm, and he starts to feel the flow a little bit. And you see it out there in the field. And I think that's obviously the case with guys like Jordan Walsh. You know, they make a big block, or they grab a good board, or whatever, something happens, and they just kind of roll from there.
Well, you're always looking for guys to give you something that sets them apart in a good way from the other guys on the team. And Jimmy, the point that you made about Jordan Walsh's defense really seems to kind of get his game going. That sets him apart, because think about Jalen, you think about Tatum, you think about most of the guys on his roster. When they get buckets is when they start feeling good, when they start really significantly impacting the game. But with Jordan, I thought one of the biggest plays he made to kind of get him going was when he had that steal at half court that he was able to go coast to coast in for the easy bucket. Those are the kind of plays that it seems for Jordan Walsh to really activate him and get him to be a guy that's on the floor making a difference. It starts at the defensive end of the floor. And when you look at this roster again, they don't really have many guys who have that capacity on the perimeter now than obviously last year when they had multiple guys like that. So Jordan, this was the perfect storm of a game for him to break out and put up big numbers, because his defense was really good. And you know, you got to put it into context. You're playing a team that gives up a ton of points. And there's a reason why, because they're not very good. And to Jordan's credit, he made the most of what Washington lacked by getting his game going and making an impact.
I'm gonna go right ahead and tell you what Bobby Manning's eventual take is going to be regarding Jordan Walsh. Is when Tatum returns, should we consider playing him off the bench? That's where Bobby's going with it. 100%.
Where were you the night that
Jordan Walsh
dropped
while he picked Tatum?
Yeah.
I would consider bringing Tatum off the bench. Think about it, John. No, Bobby, I will not. I will not think about it. Not for 1 second.
We're not there yet with Walshy. I don't know. I know we've been trying to get nicknames for the guy here, but we're not there yet with starting him over Tatum. But the fact that, you know, he's putting up these types of numbers and he's just playing hard and playing the right way in the spot starts, or in the not even the spot starts. He's like the fifth guy in the lineup on the nights now. It's crazy. What's this? Jay Walsh is your third center.
He's your third center.
He's your third center.
Luke's having a time too out in San Antonio.
He's your third center.
Big game.
Yeah, but it is. Oh, I missed that.
What do you want for your third center?
I love that shit. The question is right. The question always is with that comment, is that a Bobby comment or a Jimmy comment? You know, like he's your third center. What do you want, John?
What do you want from him?
What do you want from him?
We keep talking about Luke like he's supposed to be, you know, Shaq.
But he's your third center.
Before we keep moving on, just a couple things I want to tell you guys. Of course, you're watching the Garden Report on the CLNS Media Network. We're proud members of it. We're founding members of it. We are the CLNS Media Network.
Queens Boulevard.
Yeah. So subscribe to this channel. We keep trying to tell you we're moving the stream. Damn
when is it moving?
But you won't leave. As soon as I friggin' press the off button, it's coming. Get over here, over to the main channel. The stream is moving, but I will let you know, subscribe to this channel, subscribe to our All Access channel for terrific Celtics content, live content, turn on your notifications. And you know, when new videos drop, which is often, you'll be notified. But on top of that, terrific Patriots content on the Patriots Press Pass channel, Bruins Rinkside, great Bruins content, 3 terrific hockey podcasts over there, and a lot of other stuff going on. Little bit of Red Sox, yeah, we dabble. Our History channel booming with boomer material, if that's your thing. If you want to get after it, get after it.
Hey, you got to mix it up.
Boomer's got to boom.
Yeah.
So make sure that you check that out and subscribe to the Garden Report. And just CLNS Media in general. Please make sure that you check it out. Also, quick shout out to our sponsor over at Prize Picks. Download that Prize Picks app. Use code CLNS. Get 50 in your lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. It's the #1 daily fantasy sports app in all of North America. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy. Prize Picks. It is good to be right. Let's get back into this game. And Jimmy, what's
Yeah, what's getting me laughing?
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking this, and I'm glad that Walk Francis asked it. What's going on over here?
My daughter made me wear it.
Yeah, I thought that might be it.
Yeah.
Well, it looks very nice. So tell her I said she did a good job.
You know it's the kids.
Yeah.
The kids.
It's the kids. Yeah. That was what I was laughing at. But anyways, back to the game. I mean, we talked all about Walsh, but this is a game that like Noah must be grinning from ear to ear, right? Because she got like the Walsh game, the Ugo game. I mean, Ugo in the fourth quarter, he was playing like it was a 1-point game. There's no off button on that guy. Yeah. You got the help from Minot. So you're getting a lot of help from the kids and a lot of help from the role players tonight. But
no, Dirk, don't unsub to the other channel. There's still a ton of Celtics content. Don't leave that. It's not a dead channel. We're just going to instead of having the live stream 2 places, the live Garden Report is only going to be 1 place. That's all we're trying to do. That's all we're trying to do.
Also, to be clear, most of you are watching it on the correct channel, so you really don't have to do anything.
We're just trying to consolidate, get you all in the same place because the chats, it's more robust over on one channel than the other. So I want you guys over there. You're usually looking at 4 times the amount of people on one channel. So we just want the smaller crowd to join the big crowd and join the big party.
When the podcast or when the YouTube cast goes to YouTube after, there's 2 different posts of it, and there's 2 different comment sections on the YouTube. So that's also an annoying thing. So that's why we're trying to get it all into the
people are slowly trickling out their apologies about thinking that they would suck here. Again,
I would be one of them. I'm not going to do it yet though, because it's still too early, but
the reason I won't do it is 1, I refuse to ever admit that I'm wrong. But really, number 2 is that everyone is wrong about why they're good. And so I'm sorry, you did it on blind faith because you wanted to believe, but nobody thought it was Jordan Walsh or Neemias Queta developing from a 4th center to a legit starting center, or contributions for Ugo. Everyone thought it'd be the Derek White ascension and Peyton Pritchard playing like an all-star, and Anthony Simons being a bucket getter off the bench, and those things haven't happened. Those things have been among the worst things that have been, not really the worst, but like those aren't the things that propelled them to being good. It's the people who nobody expected anything from. It's an insane amount of contributions they're getting from guys that we thought were zeros, and Walsh is among them. Not only before the season, when it started, Walsh was nowhere. Walsh and Baylor were at the end of the bench when this season started. Baylor, you can understand because of certain elements or certain things about his game that doesn't fit what Missoula wants to do. But Walsh very much fits what Missoula wants to do. And he still couldn't find a way to play his way into even a few minutes early. Then he gets inserted into the starting lineup and everything changes. It's crazy. Again, I keep coming back to it. It's crazy the level of confidence he's playing with. He just seems so much more in control. As we said, all of the things that he did today, he finished with the left hand, up and under, patient, not just kind of throwing his body into people. Just really good stuff.
And it wasn't just us that felt these guys were basically, one stop away from playing for, middle of nowhere Europe. You look at the fact that so many of these guys that are stepping up, they got those guys pennies on a dollar. People forget that Jordan Walsh was a 2nd-round pick. So it's not like there was a huge investment on the Celtics part in terms of draft capital to get him here. And he has exceeded all expectations. And the expectations weren't that great to begin with, but give him credit. He is just, whatever switch he had to flip, they found it. And to this day, it still doesn't make sense why. It happened. It wasn't as if he was making the most of the minutes that he was getting, and then you just say, well, just give him more minutes. That's not how this happened. He just literally went from, the doghouse to the penthouse with no rhyme or reason as to how the hell that happened. And I give him a lot of credit for doing his part to make sure he does not go back to the bench. He's made it very difficult for them to do that. I mean, I think this was game number 10 that he's been a starting lineup, and they're 8-2 with him as a starter. So you can't knock what he's been able to do. And, I give him and I give Joe a lot of credit for just figuring out how to make this work and make it work at a level, as you pointed out earlier, he's getting exponentially better. He's like that little, those little toys where you put a little bit of water in them and then all of a sudden they just start expanding ridiculously fast. That's kind of how his game has been. It just doesn't make sense how he's been able to get so much better so quickly with no real rhyme or reason as to why, other than he's just getting an opportunity.
I think we forget too, real quick, John, that Noah brought this up, and I was kind of forgot. He came into the league at 19. As a second rounder, probably shouldn't have, right? Probably needed another year or two. His game's just developing. I think that's part of it. I think he's just getting better in front of our eyes, and it's happening in real time. I think, they go super hard in practice, and that's probably helping him out a lot. And he's finally getting an opportunity. Preparation and opportunity meet, success can happen, right? So I think that's kind of we know all the work he put up in Maine from Bobby and Noah, because they were the only two people that watched it happen. And they're starting to see, or we're starting.
Even
to see
Noah was giving up on this early. Even Noah early on
was she giving up on her, or was she just like, all right?
Her stock was on the market.
She was done. She was out. She doesn't get to claim this one. She was out. She was out. She
still has Baylor stock. I'll give her that.
She had some stock. I'll say I haven't seen this kind of in-season improvement since a young Sherrod Blakely came over to NBC with no television experience whatsoever, and in almost no time was just a vet out there doing solo stand-ups, what have you. Had it all locked down. So again, amazing stuff. Yeah, amazing.
How about that?
Walsh is the next Sherrod. Unbelievable.
Walsh Let's raise the bar, please. Can we raise the bar for Jordan Walsh, please? Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah. Sherrod's a goat. Sherrod's a goat. No, 100%. We're going to hear from Joe Mazzulla in a little bit. Down.
What the hell's taking so long?
In Washington.
Washington, right. Got it.
Washington, D.C.
Shout out to Drew Carter, who had a great line about Jordan Walsh, the Washington Monument. And that was some good stuff.
There's something there.
Good.
Okay.
It was good. It was good. I liked it better the first time than the 47th time, but yes. All of those Washington references were pretty good. He did talk. And then when Derek White was going good, Drew also dipped into his bag and called it the White House, which was good.
Okay.
I like it.
This was a Drew game. This was the Drew Jordan game.
If we're gonna slice up the credit cake tonight, it's gonna be Jordan, Derek,
Drew
and
gets
Drew.
A slice.
Exactly. No question about it. The White House. Joe Mazzulla did speak to reporters after the game, and as we said, we will be hearing from multiple Celtics, but we'll also get Bobby and Noah on from DC, who did make the trip down. But here's a little bit of Joe, what he had to say about tonight's win.
Like you talk about, see 1-3 go in, the next will go in. Like, does that apply to steals and defense and stuff like that too? You think?
No, I never thought about that. I think guys just did a good job executing the game plan. It was good attention to detail by the players. I thought their physicality and their ball pressure was great. And when you have that type of ball pressure, you force guys into poor spacing, and then you're able to kind of make plays. I just thought the guys did a great job, executing the details of the game plan. And I thought we played with a good level of energy throughout the entire game. Everybody that played.
And then with Mimi, it feels like guys are finding him more and more. In the pick and roll, what have you seen from him in terms of his ability to sort of like navigate space like that on the court, and then also from the ball handlers like getting used to?
Yeah, I mean, it's a relationship. It's a two-man relationship that you have to constantly build. But everything just depends on how you're being defended. So he's doing a great job screening, creating 2-on-1s, and then like you said, we're finding him in the seam. But depending upon how teams are guarding us, will always dictate the reads that we make. But he's doing a great job developing as a player, and then I think those two-man relationships, they're building well.
Joe, what are you seeing from Derek? Just seems to be kind of slowly getting back to himself. What are you seeing from him?
Yeah, I mean, I think he has a lot of responsibility. I think, he's carried us, for a while as far as leading the team in steals, leading the team in blocks, doing everything defensively. He does a really good job of just, knowing when to kind of, take over and when to kind of facilitate, and he can be a steadying force. He can go on a run by himself, and but he's got that it factor at times. So tonight I thought. In the middle of the second quarter is kind of when he went on his run, and I just kind of felt like we put the ball in his hands, we'll make great things, and he started out the half in the third quarter doing a lot of that, but he's playing well offensively for us.
And then in terms of like with Jalen out, it just seemed like this is maybe a good opportunity for other guys to kind of show what they can do and just play different roles. I mean, how important is that to give guys, maybe an added opportunity?
Yeah. I mean, I don't, I think the two things that stood out to me was besides our overall team effort and physicality, I thought Jordan set the tone for us, defensive on both ends of the floor. He had, he only had 2 offensive rebounds. I felt like he had more, but I just thought he set the tone. Like he was unscreenable. Did a great job making plays defensively. I thought offensively he did a great job there, and then I thought Anthony's physicality defensively was brought to a different level. And so I don't know that it was much about guys playing different roles as much as it was guys, making sure they do their job and they get they play their absolute best and stick to the game plan and play with a level of physicality there. And I thought everybody did that. I thought those two guys stuck out in particular.
For Jordan, when he's
twice today, you just keep
Bobby.
people off.
Bobby with the elbow.
It's all about you,
Joe
man.
called him out.
when he's rolling, when he's driving,
Jeez.
when he's playing around the basket,
Can't get a
Jordan,
win.
How have you seen him improve in that area? Is it poise? Is it decision making? Like, how is he finding more success inside?
I think it's mostly just, again, being defended by different matchups, you have to just really get good at screening techniques and screening reads. And I think he's slowly mastering being able to understand who his matchup is, what type of screen he has to set, and what that read is afterwards. And so I think he's doing a really good job of that. But he's had a lot of reps and some time of knowing, is the 5 on me, is there a small on me, are they switching me, are they maintaining? And he's doing a real good job in real time of understanding what those reads are and what the screening technique that goes with it.
How do you get better at that, especially for him where he wasn't playing a ton the first 2 years? Like, are there certain drills, reps,
Yeah,
the film?
yeah, just reps, drills, reads, have an understanding. I think he takes a lot of pride in that. I mean, I think it's an underrated thing, but also our player development staff does a great job of putting him in situations to where you got to read day. He does it every day, but it's something that he's gotten really good at.
Joe, also on Jordan, from where we sit, we don't see the progress the guys are making behind the scenes, right? It kind of feels like this kind of came out of nowhere this past month of play that he's had, but from your standpoint, has this been like a progression over the past 2 years that this was just the natural next step, or do you feel like he kind of had this moment where he turned a corner and everything kind of clicked?
I don't know if there was one moment, but it hasn't come out of nowhere. I mean, I think you're always evaluating, like you said. To me, obviously the games are the most important, and that's what you guys cover the most. But the workouts, if we practice at, if we shoot around at 10:30, the workout that starts at 9:45 is just as important as the game. The 30 minutes before practice are just as important. The way you do a shoot around is important in film session. It's just he's chipped away at just taking advantage of every possible moment that he knows he has to get better, and so it hasn't come at a surprise at all. But he takes very seriously if it's a 15-minute workout, a 30-minute workout, he takes that seriously, and that's just as important as the game. And you're kind of seeing that with him.
Sorry, Joe. Nearly 20 minutes of small ball tonight. Josh playing a role in each iteration. What are the kind of responsibilities he's taken in those lineups, and how's he stepped up in that role? Yeah,
he's in that same category, right? Of matchups being switched constantly, understanding, having full awareness. It could change every play, could change every dead ball. Who's on me? What type of screen should I be sending? What's the spacing? Where should I be? And he's been diligent in his understanding of what that is too, and he's getting more comfortable with that tonight. Played this particular coverage, he had to do a little bit of the dirty work with screen setting and rebounding, and I thought he did that well. And he's continuing to grow in that area, but it's big for us when he's able to execute that.
Thank you, Joe.
Thanks.
That's it for Joe. I'm going to translate Noah's question for Joe. What Noah was actually asking is, did he just get good all of a sudden, like all the casuals believe, or has he always been good, like I've known all along? That's basically what she asked Joe just there, and I love her. I love her for it. It was a great question because that's exactly what it was. I saw it. Right?
She never get the question up after Bobby boxed her out.
Yeah, exactly. I saw it. I've seen it.
Damn.
Joe, you've probably seen it because you know ball like I know ball. These guys don't. So
Yeah, like-
which is it?
Can you let the people in the back know what you and I know, Joe? Come on.
Yeah. Help us help them, Joe.
I love that. I love that. She just sunned the whole press room right there. Love it.
Even after the Bobby box out.
Bobby took like 3 L's in like 5 seconds within that question. Just tough. Our guy needs a win. He needs a win.
That guy needs a win.
Let's go.
Got to get him a win before Christmas. Gotta get him.
Every time he asks a question, I'm like, please let this one be good. Let Joe answer. Let Joe answer it sincerely.
Slinking in my seat. I'm like, oh no, no. Okay.
I hope this lands. I hope this one lands.
Please don't hurt him, Joe. Please don't hurt him.
Don't be nice to Bobby. I need him. It's a long season. The attempts at the Walsh nickname are struggling like Joe Namath right now.
Gotten a few, but
yeah, we're gonna.
I got one. I have the best one, but
I would like to not point out that he's bald because drawing attention to alopecia, which is an affliction, and it's not, I don't want to make every single nickname something that's bald related. Like that's you guys have to
spirit.
It's not in the spirit of things. You guys have to dig a little bit deeper there, I think. And that's where we got to be more creative. There's a couple people nibbling around the edges here, getting close to stuff, but we're not there yet. Keep plugging, fam. I have faith in you guys.
Maybe it just hasn't happened yet. Maybe
before we get there, another quick shout out our sponsor here, our frontline sponsor at the Garden Report and the CLNS Media Network, of course, as you know, is Prize Picks, and it is the #1 daily fantasy sports app in all of North America. And by now, you know the deal. So I'll be quick about it. I'll let you guys know. But again, it's Prize Picks, baby. Don't miss any of the excitement right now this season. And again, doesn't matter what sport you follow or if you follow all of them, which I know a lot of people do, particularly Boston fans. Nobody's really just a fan of one thing. You guys are fans of everything. And that's the cool thing about Prize Picks. You can mix and match sports, 2 to 6 player stat projections, wherever you want. Doesn't matter. Basketball, football, hockey, throw it all in there. Pick more, pick less. 2 to 6 players, up to 2,000 times your cash. Lots of cool options. You can stack stats on one particular player. You can you get injury reboots if somebody goes down. You get a flex play where if you want to cash out a little bit early, if your lineup isn't perfect, and you can do that. And it's easy. You see it right here. Download that app, code CLNS. Get 50 in your lineups when you play 5 instantly. Once again, go claim that $50 bonus when you play a $5 lineup after you download the app and use code CLNS. Prize Picks. It is good to be right. We are back here with A.Sherrod Blakely and Jimmy Toscano. And yeah, let's talk about the Derek White situation here. A lot of people were very afraid. And understand that every single piece of analysis we offer or anything we talk about regarding tonight's game, we absolutely fully understand. You could just assume at the end of the sentence or at the beginning of it, we're putting in the disclaimer, of course, this came against the Wizards. We understand. So we're not overreacting, and we're not going to pretend it wasn't against a glorified G League team. We know we know who they are, and we know what this is. But Derek White is Derek White. And you know how I know when Derek White's got it? When he starts hitting those late in the clock, everybody screwed me and I have to do something with it, or else the shot clock's going to expire threes, or, end of quarter threes, or end of half. When he starts dropping those, ball game. And that's what it was. He just started knocking him down. His first 30 piece of the season, 30 points, 5 of 12 from 3. If he plays any amount of time in that fourth quarter, he's getting a triple-double because he had all of that wrapped up by the third quarter. There was just no need. So, I mean, he could have had a 40-point triple-double tonight if they left him in there. It just wasn't necessary, and it was fine. But do you feel a little better? I don't know where you guys were on the panic meter. I never got there. I never even got past never. I was the Derek White defender. You guys might have flipped out, but that's okay.
I
That's
just
all right,
at some point he was going to move a little bit closer toward the Mendoza line, where he's not going to be 40-point Derek White, but he's not going to be this guy that we're watching out here who's getting you like 8-9 points or 10 points and just not being impactful, shooting like 25-30% from three. He's going to be somewhere towards the middle, and this I think is another step towards that. Because again, Washington is a horrible team, one of the worst teams, not only in the NBA this year, but maybe one of the worst teams we've seen ever. And against teams that bad, you should do what Derek White did. And that is when you get opportunities, make the plays that you know that you are capable of making. Now, I like the idea of him doing that on the eve of playing a team like the Lakers, who they're probably going to be shorthanded a little bit. And he'll have an opportunity to take advantage of that. This was a good, more than anyone else, Derek White needed to see Derek White do this because we know what he can do. But I think as a player, if you're not doing the things you're accustomed to doing, at some point, it has to wear on you to like, have I lost it? Am I not that guy anymore? And Derek White reminded us, yeah, I'm still that dude. I still hit shots when everyone is basically scrambling for the door to get away from the shot clock winding down. I can knock down those shots. So this was good for him. This was really good for him.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely was concerned about Derek White, and I'm not saying that I'm not concerned anymore. I'm glad to see him pick up from the way the season started because he was really shooting, horribly, and he was way off. It wasn't just he wasn't just missing shots; he was like really, really missing shots. Like they weren't close. So again, was that more just him starting the year off slow, or was that way teams were defending him, or the attention that he was getting, no longer being sort of like the third option? I still have a little bit of those concerns. And again, tonight, I mean, John, at some point you're the only option, right? So I mean, you're going to get your points, you're going to get your shots off, you're going to get your stats. I think that a little bit to do with tonight's performance, just being the fact that Jaylen Brown missed the game. So I'm glad to see him put those numbers up, but I think I expected a little bit more in that type of situation. Go-to guy against one of the worst teams, if not the worst team in the league. So I'm happy that it happened, but I think I would expect that a little bit more. I think on a larger scale, a more macro scale, trying to not be Bobby here, there's still I still have a little bit of concerns about him in this expanded role. Because I was a guy who came into the year thinking that he was gonna be a top 20 player in the league. I just,
right. But something changed a little bit, Jimmy, in my opinion, because you're right. That was the concern, was everybody elevating one notch up. And we said that too. Like I think both things can be true. Like Derek White's the same player he always was, but the role of clear-cut number 2 scorer, is trying to be Jaylen Brown when Jaylen Brown is the alpha, isn't, as Brown was to Tatum, isn't in his bag, playing the type of basketball that he plays all around. He's the same guy. So I wasn't worried about the player.
The same guy,
but the role was tough. The reason it changed after the first 5, 6, 7, 8 games is everyone else started playing better. They started figuring out their rotations. They were now getting contributions places they weren't getting them before. So the onus on him to do that wasn't as big. And so now you're getting, as we said, Keita offensively has provided you something. Josh Minot is knocking down corner threes with regularity. Peyton Pritchard started to heat up again, so that was good. Simons, when he's in there, can heat up like crazy. Still haven't really unlocked that potential, but like from play, you started to get more offense, and you were getting offense through defense after you switched out the starting lineup and you put Walsh in there, and all of a sudden buckets came a little bit easier, and it wasn't all on White to try to create off the dribble and do all of the things he was trying to do, which was trying to force the issue a little bit early on. So I think now he's kind of rolled back into a natural state of being, and that might be why you're seeing him kind of ease into it a little bit. That's just, that's my kind of snapshot take of how, I think he's kind of turned it around over the last several games here. And yes, I always got to thank Irene coming in here and reminding everyone, hit the like button. We like it. We like it when you like us. We like it.
Just like me. That's all I need.
They like me. They really, really like me.
And speaking of like me, John, we should say this. And I tweeted this, but anybody check out your Spotify Wrapped right? Because that came out. You're a Spotify fan and you listen. You can also listen to our podcast on Spotify. And if you do, and if we are your top podcast on Spotify, like we are with
Rebel Without a Cause.
Rebel Without a Cause. Send us a little proof.
Wait, who switched to the merch?
I didn't. Yeah.
I wasn't trying to do that. I was trying to do this.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Whatever you're gonna do works.
Yeah,
Here we go. Here's an example of somebody who, by the way, thank you very much. If we were in your top podcast or your top however many podcasts, thank you. But if you do, send us proof. Shoot us a screen grab of the graphic on Spotify, and I will shoot you a code for 40% off the merch store as a sign of thanks. 40% is the most we've ever given.
Yes. Damn.
And I just thought of this last night, Sherrod. Otherwise, I would have given you the code. But I just thought of this last night when the Spotify Wrapped came out, and I got a couple of texts and tweets from people saying, "Hey, you're in my Spotify Wrapped this year." And I thought that was
send
pretty
it
cool.
to us.
So,
send it to us right now. We'll make a graphic.
And yeah, we'll give you a shout out on the show.
Shout out. Yeah.
Give you a shout out.
I like that.
So
I don't know how to get rid of this.
Sean, it was a good.
I don't know how to get rid of this.
40% off on the hard hat. By the way, guys, this is a hard hat season. We've talked about it.
Fine. Now you can do that. Okay, we had this Black Friday still going on.
That's still alive. 30% off for anybody who code Black Friday. But if you're a really, really loyal listener, you get the 40% off. You get a little bit extra, which will probably get you like the equivalent of like free shipping or something like that.
Yeah.
Which is nice. It's good to have.
Which is nice. Check it out. Check out all the good stuff over here. So I'm feeling good. I'm feeling better about things. I'm feeling, you know what else, Jimmy? Like I said at last show, is just, I'm feeling like I didn't want to do the Garden Report this year. I really didn't. I was like, I want to sit it out.
I can confirm.
I wanted to, I was thinking about redshirting the entire season.
You and Tatum.
Me and Tatum.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying, like I said, and I do want to explain this because people still have this horribly wrong what Team Tank means. Team Tank meant we believe that there would be tremendous benefit to them taking a step back this season because it would be a shortcut to returning to a top team in the Eastern Conference by just cutting the line, exploiting the fact that you had to eat it this year by shedding salary and with Tatum being out. And if you find your way into a top whatever pick,
it's how the Spurs got Duncan.
Because then you just you see it. You've seen it before. It's not, people are comparing it to like, look at Philly, look at this team. No, you're not saying shed all of your pieces and be crap and then just amass picks and hope that those hit. You're saying you've got a good nucleus in place. It wouldn't have been the worst thing, but I think we're past that at this point. Barring a major injury, I think that conversation's officially over at this point. It's not going to happen. I mean, could they end up as an 8, 9, 10? It's still, of course, possible. If things go wrong, if people get hurt, it's a long season.
What do you mean, John? Like, yeah, that's 8, 9, 10 is still extremely possible. That's probably still a front runner.
It's still in play, right? Exactly. But that's what that meant. So people are like, pro athletes don't tank, dude. Like, that's not what we did. We didn't mean. I want Jaylen Brown to go stop trying. But all I'm saying is the tank, the tanker has sailed or sunk at this point.
And honestly, one of the reasons it sunk is because there's teams like the Wizards in the league.
Yeah.
I mean, and they're not the only ones, right? There's like 5 or 6 teams that are just really, 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 really bad. And there's Celtics they're just not gonna be remotely close to as bad as those teams are. So at that point, you've got to hit the lottery, right? If you end up not in the playoffs, which it looks like the Celtics might be in the playoffs, and great for them if they are. But if they're not, they're gonna just miss the playoffs because they're not going to be anywhere near one of these bad teams that are going to end up with a top 3 to 5 pick.
And the other side of the spectrum, Jimmy, is the teams that we expected to be just head and shoulders above the rest are not. I mean, Cleveland, hot mess. Knicks, hot mess. Orlando, injured, banged up guys as usual. And so
Milwaukee's about to be a hot mess, or they already are, but they're about to be worse.
Trae Young and Atlanta Hawks, he's hurt. They're a hot mess. And so all the teams that you had on paper ahead of the Celtics have a significant issue that they're dealing with that is, frankly, it's closed the gap. for them and the Celtics. And so, yeah, at this point, no one should be shocked if the Celtics are a playoff team, in large part, not so much because they're really, really good, but because a lot of the teams that were supposed to be significantly better are not. And so, yeah, the Celtics are in it. And even if they were intentionally trying to tank, they couldn't because of what a lot of those other teams are doing.
By the way, the Celtics' next opponent, the Lakers, coming in, and there was a bit of drama, with this game for people following online. LeBron James was sitting at 6 points in the fourth quarter, and his ridiculous double-digit streak was in jeopardy. And he was either at 8 or 9 points, I'm not sure, right at the end of the game, driving the lane in a close game, and he, instead of shooting to keep it alive, kicked it to Rui for a buzzer-beating 3 to win the game. So LeBron haters might have to eat that one. They might celebrate that the streak died, but he killed it for a noble cause, which was winning, and they did, and they beat the Raptors, who've been playing good ball. They're coming here tomorrow.
That's such a LeBron thing to do, though. Like, you will revel in the fact that the streak is over, but damn it, he made it happen. Not you, not the other team. LeBron did.
Yeah.
Such a control freak.
That is a LeBron way to
he did. It was a tie game. Yeah, he could have. He
and now guess what? The worst thing is now that he's due for a double-digit point game. Now he's absolutely due. So there you go.
Yeah.
No,
Awesome.
LeBron is electric still. I mean, that's gonna be a fun one tomorrow. It always is, but
yeah. You're seeing it now. This is the first year where he's actually looked close to his age. But again, it's early and he's coming off an injury, so I'm not writing him off yet.
He just barely started.
It wouldn't be surprising if he finishes out over the last 40 closer to his career averages of like 25, 8, and 8. So I'm not ruling him out yet because the guy's superhuman. But yeah, they're coming in tomorrow. We're hoping Luka's going to be there as well. We're not entirely sure. And this was the poll that I had put up there. Celtics up 40 with 6 minutes to play. Could Team Celtics media hang on to this lead? Yes, 19%. No, 35%. They'd lose by 20, 45%. That's the correct answer. That is the correct answer.
They would get, dude, are you kidding me? You know how fast 40 points would disappear? That's not even it would be in seconds. Literally in seconds, it would disappear.
Because the minute they inbound the ball, layup. Inbound the ball, layup.
Steal, layup, turnover.
Exactly.
They could have played all of them at once, like all 15 of them plus Bob Schron, and I still don't know.
Leave Bob out of this. Bob's got more talent than half the rest of the media.
Yeah. I think it would have been good.
But yeah, it would have been a 40-0 run in like literally two minutes, I would say.
Yeah, really fast. Yeah, really, really fast. Anyway, it would have been fun to see. It wouldn't have been great if all of a sudden Bobby and Noah just came out of the stands and Jack. All right, guys, hold it down.
Corral, if Corrales is in the lineup,
there?
maybe they've got a slight chance.
It would be great. It would have been interesting. Is how long could Joe have left them in until the lead whittled down to close to nothing, where he'd have to bring the starters back and walk of shame them right back to their press seats? 3 minutes, 3.5. That would have been amazing.
Just to make a point. That's what he would have done, just to make a point.
Yeah, that's gonna be good, man. It's gonna be good. It's going to be good. We got, like I said, those guys coming out of the locker room in a little bit, and they will join us here tonight. Other things you guys like to see, and again, the offense early in this game was there was a lot of Neemias in this one. I thought he was going to go for a friggin' 40. I thought he was going to go for 30 tonight. I don't know what it is with the Celtics and their centers. When they're cooking, they just sometimes forget they exist. They cook early and all of a sudden it just goes away. He was solid again tonight. Again, plus 29 in 21 minutes. His impact is undeniable. Washington really had no beef down below, or really an interior presence. So it's not super surprising. Again, the caveat, yes, we know it was the Wizards. Dude just continues to impress. I'm really curious, coming off of Luke got himself back into the spotlight. He'd been hurt. He came back. He had that awesome block last night to save the game for San Antonio. I'd be really curious what'd be going on between a Luke and Neemias battle this year. If they both remained. I assume Luke would have started and he'd be holding it down, and they'd be doing well, but Celtics could have survived with those two bigs, like, period, right? Like, that's crazy to think, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. But
in fact, not only that, you might make the case going forward, if you looked at their 4 bigs from last year, Luke, Nemes, Al, and Porzingis, that the 2 they should have kept were Nemes and Luke.
Based on what we've seen this year,
crazy to think, right? Crazy, right?
Yeah, yeah. Because I mean, Al can't make a shot. It seems in Golden State.
That is interesting.
KP can't stay on the floor healthy enough to play. Which
what's Al been up to? Not much.
Not much. Shooting like 32% on threes, and basically that's all they're looking for. And he's not shooting anywhere close to what he's accustomed to shooting from 3-point range or in general. So it hasn't worked out well so far for him and the Warriors. And KP hurt again, shocker. Illness, shocker, not.
Right.
Al's I mean, again, he's only he's only played in 12 of their 20 something games also, and he's been playing about 21 minutes a night, 5 points. So again, he's
just kind of
he's not being utilized as he was here. I thought he'd be a real X factor on that team. And again, you never know if it's father time or just simply that nobody outside of Boston knows how to use Al Horford correctly. That might be the case.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy. Every time he leaves, he's like, shit. It was so much better over there. What did I go for? Why did I do this again?
I fell for it again.
God damn it.
He has so many of those damn Charlie Brown Lucy moments. Like, Al.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
You think Al's not going to end up here for his final go? He absolutely finishes.
Absolutely.
Not in a ceremonial way. He actually plays another season for the Celtics before his career is over. That's going to happen.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a bold take.
I can see him back in Boston.
You don't think this is his last season?
He'll find a way. He'll find a way to get back here.
He might just sit out until the playoffs.
Yeah.
Just come back to the playoffs.
He's good. Earlier sorry, go ahead, Jimmy.
No, it's too early to ask the question I was going to ask. So
okay, I want to circle back. We were talking about. I thought we all agreed. Everyone but Noah, who has no more Walsh stock, that Walsh was the story of the game tonight. Yeah, and he those guys caught up with him in the locker room after the game. We're going to listen in on Jordan Walsh.
Jordan, knowing JB was going to be out tonight, what was your mindset?
I didn't know he was out until I didn't see him before the game, honestly. I didn't. It was crazy. I actually didn't notice until I kind of looked at the shooting times when I got here and was like, why am I shooting so late? And I was like, I saw JB's name wasn't on there. Yes, but I didn't really think about it. Yeah.
Did you think about it before the game? Did you try and do any more, or was it just a matter of being a star in your role again?
Being a star in the role again, trying not to force it, trying not to chase it, trying to get thirsty, just staying solid, staying in the course, doing the things that, I've had success doing so far.
Joe has taught him well. I haven't seen Jalen. I haven't talked to Jalen.
Going inside.
Who is Jalen?
In the art.
I think confidence is just a big part of it and getting reps. You do so much with coaches in practice and so much in workouts, but it's different when you're in the game, going full speed downhill against a guy. Then it's like, all right, how are you going to actually perform in this scenario? I think being able to be in that scenario over and over again now, I think is what made the biggest leap.
What allowed you to become more confident as an offensive player? If you were looking at those opportunities early in your career compared to now, what is the biggest difference you would say that's allowed you to be effective?
I would say it's pretty much similar to the same answer. But then that,
Joe has done him well.
I have a shot is more from the coaches building that in me, more than me seeing it open in the game. It's them telling me you got to shoot it every time you're open, because you got to make them respected. Then it opens everything else up in the game. So that is definitely more of coaching advice for sure.
For a lot of players, it seems like they kind of feed off of made baskets, but so far this season you've been feeding off of defensive plays. It looks like. Do the made baskets just kind of feel like a bonus, or how does for you as a player, what's really energizing to you? And when you look up and you have 20 points now, is it just kind of a cherry on top?
Honestly, I'd be forgetting what happened on offense. Like when I score, I low-key forget what happened. And I'm so focused on getting back on defense. So then it leaves my mind. But then whenever I get like a
Joe's
steal
in the back,
and
just
a
like
dunk, or
nodding.
like a steal or like a rebound, like that stays with me. I don't know why, but it's weird for me. But that's how it happens. I just kind of forget and then move on to defense, and then defense always sticks with me for some reason.
Has it always been like that, or is that just something you've developed as a Celtic? Like, when you were younger, was it also like that?
Yeah, I don't know why. It's weird. I feel like everybody's always excited when they dunk on somebody, hit a three. Obviously, if you dunk on somebody, it's different. But like if I just hit a shot, like I'm immediately like I never celebrate. Like I always immediately just run back to like my defense or like pick up.
Do you know that you had a career high tonight scoring?
No, I didn't. I do know now. Yeah, I know now. But like in the game, I didn't feel like I was like scoring that much, which was weird. But I looked up and saw it. And I was like, oh my goodness. But,
Is that like an opportunity thing? I mean,
Follow up, Bobby. Did you know you had a career high though?
22 tonight. Is it just a matter of opportunity, you think?
Mixed with a lot of the teammates.
Do you like
my teammates
scoring?
and coaches putting me in positions, it's with JB being out, it opens up a lot for not just me but everybody to come in and get a little bigger piece of the pie. And for me, I just happened to fill those minutes a lot just because I was on the court.
Did he say
starting.
pie?
But it's definitely more of
Credit cake.
my coaches and the players making me available
pie.
or looking for me in those moments to try to give me the ball.
He said pie.
Jordan, you mentioned the defense sticks with you. Do you feel like there's like defensive momentum in that way? Like the same way that they're getting, hyped up after a three, like you get a stop or you get a steal, like does that influence your confidence? Like, do you think that's how it sticks with you? Like, do you think that it's momentum in that way, or is it just like you remember it?
Absolutely, it's momentum. Because if I press up on you and get a steal, then now the next 3 possessions I'm going to do the same thing, and I'm going to try and get another steal. And if I get another one, then it's another 3 more possessions that I'm going to do it. I'm just going to keep doing it until it's like stops working, and like I'm going to eat off of it. The team feels the energy off of it. They're put in a mood where it's like, oh my goodness, like who's going to bring up the ball? Like we got to switch it up. So it's just kind of like more like disrupting them, their pace, their rhythm. That makes a difference.
Jordan, this new style of defense has done a lot for you guys this season, like the help and rotate and go for turnovers.
For sure, yeah. Usually I feel like in the past 2 years at least, since I've been here, we've kind of been a sit in our shift, kind of like let them play one-on-one. We're not really helping too much. And now this year, it's all about helping the other guy out. Like we'll live at a kick-out 3. If you can get a good contest, we can live with it. But we're not allowing everything in the paint or anything in the paint for the most part.
Lakers, can I do one more?
Yeah, go ahead.
Lakers tomorrow. How cool is it for you to be able to be a part of that rivalry and then
I work for
looking
the
forward to
team.
that matchup coming off in the second half?
This is Abby Chen.
Oh, it's huge. That rivalry, it's as long as time, so to be able to go in there and play against those guys in the bright lights, like, that's a huge moment. I know before we played them on Christmas Day, and that was huge too. But every time we get a chance to play the Lakers, we always want to dominate.
Thank you, Jordan. Nice.
And there we go. Jordan Walsh with a career high. Didn't know he had 22 points. Didn't know Jalen was playing. Doesn't know anything. Don't ask me any questions, damn it. I don't know anything.
It's just like too.
Okay?
That's so Gen Z.
Whatever.
I don't even care.
You guys care about points. I don't care about points.
I don't even think about it when I score. Like,
He's
what are
so
we even
cool.
doing out here?
Look how cool he got so cool
What are
so
all these
fast. I
people
love
doing
it.
here watching me? What is?
Like, guys, we're really gonna talk about me scoring when there's people are starving.
I loved it. And like I said, we're gonna be joined in a moment by both Noah and Bobby once they're good, setting up over in DC. When I get a thumbs up, I think I'll bring those guys on. Bobby's close. Bobby is close.
He's close. He's
Bobby,
not
how
there
close are you?
yet. Hopefully
How
not
close. 1
hopefully
second close.
Hopefully he takes off that jacket and tie before he comes on.
No, he's good.
No.
He's good.
Jeez.
My dad had a
Washington,
virtual
DC
physical
look.
today, with a new PCP, and he wore a jacket and tie for it. He's old school.
Bizarre.
He
Love
did.
that. I love
Because
that.
he's like, he was like, want to present. He's like, I can't meet a new doctor in my
Then
pajamas.
what? You gonna like take it all off?
So I went to the door to help him like zoom it up for him, and get him on his patient gateway and this and that, and he's just sitting there with a freaking jacket and a shirt and
like
tie.
it's
It
an
was
interview.
terrific.
Like, hey, like, am I
Like I said,
healthy
he
enough for you?
wanted to look good for the doc. We're bringing in Bobby and Noah. Before we do, we're gonna hear quickly from Joe Mazzulla again.
Everybody did that. I thought those two guys stuck out in particular.
For Jordan, when he's
Twice today, you just keep cutting people off.
Box out. Rebound.
when he's
Get
rolling,
the elbows
Bobby,
out.
what are we doing?
Bobby, you need a win so
Okay.
badly, man.
And you know what? We're gonna do. I'm so glad we started here because we're gonna do a play-by-play of what was happening behind the scenes. Bobby, take it away.
Please do.
So
So
you gotta take a swig first.
He's
I was
nervous.
on-
He's got the water out.
I was on the right
Chugging
side of
it.
the room. I was on the right side of the room. Mike started over there, goes to the left, probably Gary or whoever. Then you would think it would go back to the right, right? Right,
guess.
left, right.
I don't know. I don't
So
play
here's-
these. I don't
So,
play these mic
I-
games, but
Noah,
yeah.
Noah, can you sum up
I-
this? Can you be
Let me
AI
know
and
when you need
sum
me
up
to
what he's
jump
going
in.
to say?
I fired away.
Let these.
I fired away. Noah wasn't paying attention to who had the mic on the other side, so she cut me off
He got
in
boxed out.
traffic.
Oh, she cut you off.
And
Mhm,
yeah,
Okay.
and I just, you know how it goes when you're driving, right? You just got to keep going. You don't do the little break. You just go. So avoid the collision. And so I avoided the collision,
Bye, Bobby.
and
Yeah.
I'm out of here.
There you are.
Okay. So
Hold on.
what is happening? Okay.
That-
So from my
wait, to
standpoint,
avoid the collision, you just
this is
you just
perfect.
keep
He's gone. I
going?
can explain
Okay.
my part of the story.
Okay, yeah. Now tell
So
us what
for-
really happened. I'll keep
Yeah.
him out. I'll keep him
So
out.
from my standpoint, I'll take full ownership. I wasn't really keeping track of which side of the room had the mic and who had gone first. I just went. Bobby, however, as soon as the press conference ends, he told me, I knew you were going to go first. So I tried to beat you to the spot. So he knew I was going first. So I was like, I had no idea he even had the mic in his hand. Meanwhile, he created the situation because he told me definitively that he knew that I was going to be asking the next question and
was
he wanted to
boxing
beat
you
me to
out.
it.
He planned to
So
box
we
you
can
out.
act like I should have known. We could act like it was the left, right. But the reality is that one of us knew that the other was going and it was not me.
Oh my God,
Wow.
Bobby, defend
So
yourself.
I felt bad for
Drama.
him. When the press conference
Boxing
ended, I felt
out
bad for him.
Bobby.
I felt bad at what had happened. And then once he explained to me, he was like, I knew you were going to do that. So I had to jump in. Then I was like, I don't
I
feel bad anymore.
anticipated
So-
it.
Boxing
why'd you
out
go
Bobby.
then?
Damn.
So why did you
You
go?
jump-
That's what I
you-
don't
you-
understand.
You jumped the route.
He did.
Play the
Who's-
Judge
who's-
Judy music.
Whose turn was it?
We got to.
It doesn't matter. The point is
It
that
doesn't
I
matter
didn't
whose
know
turn
you
it
had the mic
was.
in your hand. But if you knew that I had the mic in my hand and I was going to go, why wouldn't you just want me to go?
All right, this isn't
'Cause
fun
I was-
anymore. You guys seem
I was
actually
trying to
mad.
push
We're gonna
through.
move on.
I was trying to push through and prevent the collision, but obviously we crashed into each other, and now we have a situation.
This is the situation here.
But
Yeah.
I will say this: you guys missed pregame probably. Me and
No, we
Gary
can't hear
crashed
you.
into each other. Me and Gary crashed
I'll
into
say,
each other
stay.
pregame.
I want you and Noah on opposite sides of the room for the rest
Is
of
there
the for the rest of
something
the
That was
like-
the problem.
yeah.
We were
Oh,
on
that was the
opposite
problem.
sides, and the turns got screwed up. Now pregame, me and Gary crashed into each other. That was all my fault.
Jesus, Bobby.
And this
You're all
was
over
Postgame.
you're all over the place. That's what.
Postgame
So
was
is
my
Bobby,
that?
fault.
there's one common thing in these two crashes, Bobby. There's only one thing that they have.
Well, that's why Joe said that.
There's one driver
So-
here that keeps crashing. Yeah, that's why Joe said it's the second time.
Yes.
Wow. No, we
Yeah.
can't hear you.
No,
At least I got a good answer.
did Bobby take your mic again?
Yeah.
He's boxed her mic out too.
He went in
Damn,
there. He just
Bobby.
pulled the plug on our
Pulled
computer.
the
They're
plug.
in the same room.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
He's
Okay.
just driving.
He
He's
just
close
still
your
yanked,
case.
he just yanked the mic plug out. Yeah.
To
A
close
final
the case,
argument.
I'll take ownership for not paying attention to who had the mic. That being said, I think Bobby should take ownership for deliberately creating that situation.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
We-
Bobby,
we'll
will
be
you
the-
take
we'll be the
ownership?
judges.
Blame Pie. We're gonna blame Pie this whole situation at the end of the show. I promise.
Okay.
When the
I like
questions
this.
finally, so Noah, I'm because I'm gonna own up to it because I called something out here. When Noah did get her question in, here's what she asked Joe Mazzulla about Jordan Walsh.
Jordan, from where we sit, we don't see the progress the guys are making behind the scenes, right? It kind of feels like this kind of came out of nowhere this past month of play that he's had. But from your standpoint, has this been like a progression over the past 2 years that this was just the natural next step, or do you feel like he kind of had this moment where he turned a corner and everything kind of clicked?
I don't know if there was one moment, but it hasn't come out of nowhere. I mean, I think you're always evaluating, like you said. To me, obviously the games are the most important, and that's what you guys cover the most. But the workouts, if we practice at, if we shoot around at 10:30, the workout that starts at 9:45 is just as important as the game.
Okay, so Noah, translation here on this question. All of you newbies out there think Jordan Walsh just got good overnight, but Joe, you and I know he's been good all along, right? Right? Tell me I'm right. And then
That's
Joe
not what I
told you
was
you were right.
Wow.
Yes,
That
it
is
Got to
is.
be some
not
John
what I
Noah
was
beef now.
asking. No, it was just for
You
this is
didn't
about.
say
Alma
that
told me to be prepared.
exactly, but
No,
We
I
were
actually
reading between the
Right?
lines. on that one.
You and I have seen this. No one else has, right? And yes, of course he took your side.
Imagine if I had said that.
While slapping Bobby around. Yes, exactly.
See, people like
No.
Bobby don't understand that.
yeah, people like
Exactly. So you take another swipe at Bobby and all of us who just, whoa, Jordan Walsh is actually good. Yeah, okay, but that's all right. Maybe not. Maybe it wasn't. You tell me.
It actually wasn't. To be honest with you,
Okay.
I was a huge fan of Jordan Walsh, the person. I enjoyed covering him. I thought that he could become a good NBA player eventually. I did not see this coming. I never claimed to. I did not see this turn coming a month ago. I wasn't sitting there saying, play Jordan Walsh. He's going to become a
Yeah.
great two-way beast. So
Yes.
I was including myself in that category, to be honest.
Which is also why this happened.
all the work he putting up in Maine from Bobby and Noah, because they were the only two people that watched it happen. And they're starting to see, or we're starting.
Even
to see
Noah was giving
what
up
they
on this
saw.
early. Even
Yeah,
Noah early on with
her
Was
Walsh.
she
stock
giving
in
up on
Jordan-
her, or was she just like, all right?
Her
like,
stock was on the market.
She was done. She was out. She doesn't get to claim this one. She
Wow.
was out.
Her
She was
stock
out.
was on
She
the
was out.
market. She
was
still
out.
has Baylor stock. I'll give her that.
She had some stock. I'll say I haven't seen this kind of in-season improvement since a young.
That's
it. That's
See?
it.
Her,
You were
I
out.
think
You were out.
Jordan
You were
stock
out
was
on
Is that
on the
true,
market.
Noah? You sold
I
all
was
your
not.
stock?
No, I was not out on Walsh, but there's some nuance, right? Like I think that I still saw the upside, but I did not see this kind of leap. So we should do like a monthly stock report where everybody can say how much stock they have in these guys, so then
It's
we
a
can
good
go
idea.
back
Great
and look at
idea.
the
I like that.
receipts.
We also
You
need
don't
a
remember
high
the
five
years of
counter.
Rob Stong. You should have been there for that. The ultimate pump and dump, I would say.
Rob
John.
stock.
The ultimate.
John was afraid
He-
to sell.
He bought low, pumped it,
And Rob
pumped
Williams.
it, and then he just
Yeah.
dumped it all.
I don't
I
know,
hung
Jimmy.
on.
He was scared to dump it.
I was, but I saw it. Like I said, my attachment at the end was emotional. I liken Rob a little bit to Pedro Martinez when he was a free agent, only in the sense that
Oh my
I
god!
love.
Can you take that back immediately?
Well, if you listen, you'll get it. But
Well,
Pedro,
don't do that.
I loved like no other athlete, and I have loved Rob Williams. And I wanted it to work, but when it was time for Pedro to re-sign, he ended up taking the money and going to the Mets. I was devastated, but also I knew like he's done. Like I think it's over, but I still didn't want to let him go. Like I could. It was
Right.
really hard to let Rob go. But he was done. He was done, and poor guy.
Yeah, I don't think anyone
how-
remembered.
how did
Pedro
we
on the
mention
Mets
Rob
much.
tonight?
You know what I mean? It's like that. You
Yeah.
never want to let go of some stuff.
course.
It's like you. Yeah, that was it. That was it.
How did we mention?
anybody have a
Rob
stock
tonight
right?
Before.
Does anyone have what?
Stop.
No, Bobby. I'm deferring
What?
to Bobby tonight.
Okay, Bobby, why don't you just
Bobby,
talk?
that.
Bobby's asking a question about Rob.
I love that shade that you just threw your way. I like that.
That's not shade. I do feel bad about how it played out. That's why.
He still hates the comparison, Jimmy. He's on your team.
Bobby, go. You have the
Go ahead,
floor.
Bobby.
I said what I said. How did we
I didn't
talk
hear
about
you.
Rob tonight before Luke Cornett?
Oh,
We talked about Luke.
We
You
Oh,
missed
okay.
it. You want
We
to know
did
our Luke
mention
question
Luke.
right now? Not only that, Bobby, I'll take you deep into the Luke conversation.
Get him, John.
We talked about Luke. We talked about his block, and we said if they had kept Luke and Nemus right now, because Kate has been playing so well, who would be starting? Would it definitely be Luke, or could Nemus have made a play? And we also said this: if you had your choice of the 4 big men that were on this team last year between Horford, Cornette, Neemias, and Luke, I might say that the 2 they should have kept based on what we're seeing right now are Neemias and Cornette, which is crazy, right? Am I crazy, Noah?
It's not crazy anymore. It's accurate.
Bobby, you got to do the pronunciation though, because apparently we've all been saying Nimi's full name wrong. And the other day,
it's Neemish, isn't it?
Can you do it, Bobby?
Nemeash.
Yeah.
Nemeash.
He asked Mike Brown about him the other day, and Mike Brown was like, "Oh my God, I've been saying his name wrong this whole time," like, because he coached him.
He was very confused when I asked. I've had a lot of press conference incidents lately.
I think we were told this early in the year, but we just kind of settled into what was easy. But I think that
I was saying to
Noah was in there. Yeah.
Neemish.
I don't feel great about saying Nimi because like it's not my buddy, but I think everyone just defaulted to that. And
I hate
his
Nimi.
name is Nemeash.
I hate Nimi too.
Crop that.
Also, the Portuguese fans in the chat probably gonna say I got it wrong.
1 hour and 4 minutes and 40 seconds.
I hate Nimi. I killed Earl Milton.
So it's Neemish.
You should just say Nimi, Jimmy.
Okay. It's easier that way. I'm gonna call him. How about this? I'm gonna call him Kada.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that? That's his last name. Don't we used to call these guys by their last names? Now you guys,
Can you say it again?
You guys act like you're going out to the bar with them after.
That was perfect, John. That would have been better than I did it.
I think so. I think I'd heard it, and I thought we just kind of defaulted back to what was easy. But I remember that extra little kind of Nemi-ish, that extra syllable in there. Yeah.
The first time I ever met him,
you take it for a ride, you know.
The first time I ever met him, I asked him
the whole way Nemi-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just
no, the first. We have the video. We have the video somewhere. I asked him the first time I met him how you pronounce it. So
yeah,
I hope I'm getting it right.
Nemi-ish.
Have we talked about anything basketball related since you guys came on?
I mean,
nothing,
right?
Has viewership plummeted since we joined?
No, it's still.
This is what the people want after Celtics Wizards.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you gonna do? Break down the game? Come on, we don't.
Do you want to hear about?
No, but let's talk about the Jordan Assance because you guys were beating each other back, trying to get in there, asking questions about him.
That's the funny part. We were trying to ask the same thing.
You were obviously you're obviously really interested.
Okay, I'll give one more credit to Bobby since I did come on kind of strong at the beginning of the
here
show.
We go.
He did want to discuss what we were each individually asking ahead of the press conference, and I shot it down. So that's on me because then we would have had different things. So
fair enough.
I think I win this one 2-1 now.
But what do you guys credit it to? And again, you know, it's you know, we talked about it earlier in the show, and I tweeted it out kind of, you know, semi-jokingly, but like not really. And it was like, you know, Jordan Walsh is twice as good as he was a week ago, which is twice as good as he was a week before that. Like the exponential growth that he's experienced since. I mean, and again, think about the beginning of the season. It was sad Baylor and sad Jordan Walsh. Your last 2 draft picks at the end of the bench couldn't get a minute, right? And then Walsh chips away and gets a couple of sparky minutes, and then all of a sudden he's starting, and then he looks pretty good. And now he looks really good. And it's rare to see that type of exponential growth over such a short period of time in someone's game. Could it be fool's gold? Yeah. Possibly. Obviously, the caveat that it's the Wizards, and we've qualified almost everything that we've said, which is you have to take into account the opponent. But the level of confidence and the types of things he's adding to his game are not things any of us thought that he had, not on the regular, and not at this level, not at the NBA level. So what do you guys attribute it to? I know, you know, Noah, you asked, Joe said, yeah, you know, I see it behind the scenes. He's got that, but it's like, you're getting a lot more out of him than just straight energy at this point. He's a more rounded player than even he was a couple of weeks ago.
To be honest with you, I think there is a ton of player development going on that we don't really keep tabs on, that we see a little bit pregame. I mean, his shot has looked better and better. I think he had a really good summer league from a scoring standpoint compared to the previous 2. Like that was kind of an under the radar thing because you know, it was his third season. Nobody's going to go crazy over a guy like looking decent on offense. But what this league is about, and I know a lot of people have said this over the last few days. Derek said it when I asked him about it tonight. Tatum said it yesterday, I think, on a live stream. But it's just about opportunity. And there are probably countless guys that have been in the NBA that just were never in the right spot, never with the right coaching staff and teammates around him. And obviously right now he's getting a more extended opportunity than he ever has in his career. I mean, Derek literally said to me, like, he has never had an opportunity, you know? So anything that we've seen in an incredibly small sample size. Even a bad summer league is 4 games. It's a week of basketball, right? Yeah. And then the other piece is the defense that they're playing right now perfectly suits his style. And so last year, he said it a little bit, and I think everybody knows this, but last year was all about guarding your guy. You're not playing a lot of help. Like, you're not going to foul. And they've kind of 180'd it. And they had to do that because of the personnel changes, but it makes it so that Jordan's defensive skill set is completely accentuated. Whereas someone like Sam Hauser probably fit in better last year. And so that opportunity of both the minutes that are available, the shots, all that, but then specifically now this play style fits him much better than last year. And everything kind of lined up perfectly for him. That stylistic change happened in year 3 when he was ready to go and his player development had improved and all of that. And he did spend a year in Maine. You know, like it wasn't like he was just sitting that first year. It was really just last year that he was sitting. But all that being said, even all that being said, I still didn't think this was going to be the product. Like, we're seeing a legit, very good basketball player, and that's pretty impressive considering where he was a month ago.
Yeah, put this in the chat real quick. I'm going to throw it out there. I would have never thought this. I don't necessarily.
Oh, you agree?
I don't agree with this, but it's an interesting comparison of what you're seeing out of the Thompson twins. And again, Eamon has a more polished offensive game than his brother right now. But like that type of impact that those guys bring, which is chaos, disruption, athleticism, active hands, and then being able to, finish in transition and be athletic and do some of the things he's doing. I'm not putting him there at all, but that never kind of crossed my mind that there are some similarities there, I think, to what those guys are doing.
Yeah, and his pedigree is huge. He was a 5-star high school recruit who got buried at Arkansas, who didn't have the year you hoped he would have there. He had to come off the bench. There's a lot on his background that I do think projected toward becoming what we're seeing now. And it's why I loved the draft pick at the time. This relentless energy, on-ball defense to the point of fouling was what he did in college. And I think Noah makes a great point there that it's no mistake them switching to this approach now unlocked him to some degree, at least on defense. And that, the offense is a bonus right now. And that's obviously what he talked a lot about in the post game there. The defense reaching this level is the real story. Because yes, it's nice to get 22 from him here. It's great that he can do that and that upside is there with him on that end. But what's his NBA skill right now? And it looks like it could be a potentially elite one. On-ball defense against some of the best players in the league. And the numbers are out of this world at this point against Maxey and all these players. Chris Middleton actually gave him a decent amount of trouble tonight, as we were talking about on Press Row. But
he hit some tough shots.
Most matchups, he is not just fared well in, he has exceeded in. James Harden, Paolo, all the way down the line.
He didn't get beat by Middleton, but Middleton made some pretty difficult shots up and over him, I thought.
Do you know why he entered the draft like when he did? Like, obviously,
the same reason a lot of guys do.
But don't they get? I mean, yeah, a lot of guys
was like
also
right
don't,
before
though.
NIL too, wasn't he? I want to say.
You know who else was a 5-star recruit for the Celtics?
I know who you're gonna say.
Who?
Go ahead.
Romeo.
Yep.
Yeah, we don't need.
I mean, that thinking's not wrong. And
that's why you like. That's why you like players like that, because maybe they just had a down year or something like that. You like the pet. If the pedigree says superstar, you're hoping that they're more than just like, a one-dimensional player who can only do one thing. The idea was when Jordan Walsh came out of high school that this was going to be one of the best players in the country. Didn't work out for him. He slips into the second round. The Celtics go there. And again, we have to take into consideration, which Noah pointed out a zillion times. He, over the course of the last couple of years, he comes into the league at 19, like he's younger. He's like 7 years younger than Baylor Shireman, like he's a kid. He's a kid.
Right. No, I just being a 5-star recruit, having a down year, I just wonder why he went into the league. Unless, and I mean, yeah, I know Bobby, you're right. Like there are a lot of players that do it, but I think a lot of them probably are misguided in that. So I was just wondering if he ever talked about that decision. But maybe that's a question
You want me to ask him?
you guys can fight over next time.
One of you two, both. Actually, both
You
of
got
you
it,
ask
Bobby. It's all you.
Yeah, just it would be Bobby. It would be interesting to know if you can word it in the right way.
That could be a nice feature, Jimmy. Oop.
There you go. Sidebar for you.
Down goes Bobby.
Add to the list. But yeah, I said earlier. I mean, I think he's just getting better before our eyes, and I don't know if that's due to the way they practice, if that's due to just confidence and just feeling like he belongs now, and it's just, obviously the talent's there. You don't get this far. You don't get this far in that sport without having some level of talent. I think he's just tapped into what he does really, really well, and now he's owning it. Like he said, like he doesn't even think about scoring. He just thinks about the rebound or the block or the getting back on defense. And like if that's what is going to keep him going, then that's ultimately what's going to keep him in the league.
There's two other things that I think are worth noting. One is the Celtics have a really good player development system at this point. I think there's a lot of evidence of that between seeing how many guys
always.
In recent years. Again, it's a different staff from the years that I've covered the team, the staff that's been here. Like I think there's a pretty good track record of how minutes in Maine transfer over into minutes in Boston. Kada and Walsh, who are so critical to this season's success, they were Maine teammates. Sam, Luke, all these guys. I think there's a good track record there, but not just that, but also seeing guys improving their shooting abilities. The same way that Derek and Grant and those guys. I think you're seeing a little bit of that with Jordan and guys that came in kind of inconsistent shooters. I think they know what they're doing. It's not going to save everybody's shot, but there's a pretty good track record there. And then the other pieces, I do wonder if it was motivating to see Josh start and get the starting spot, basically being an energy wing, rebounding, crashing guy, and then seeing Ugo come in and get a start in his third ever NBA game, basically based off of his ability to defend in Madison Square Garden. And are those? We talked a lot about how it can be a little bit demoralizing for those guys if you're being pulled from the starting lineup or all of a sudden you get a DNP, but there has to be an upside there of you can't take one possession off or one possession for granted because Joe has 3 other energy guys that can come in and do exactly what you're doing. So even to begin this game, I thought Jordan didn't have the best ever start to this game, but the second that you get pulled, somebody else comes in and can do that exact role. There has to be a motivating factor there. And all those guys are good friends. And I think I'm sure there's some level of competitive spirit, but it's an interesting dynamic that it's not like there's the one energy guy that if you don't have it, you're still the energy guy. So you still get your 25 minutes, not on this team. If you don't have it on this team, there's 3 other energy guys that can do exactly what you're doing. And I think that's upping everybody's game because you're seeing that. I thought Josh was awesome tonight. His defense was awesome. He was crashing. He was helping. And Ugo comes in later in the game and he had quietly had a career night. That's the most points he's ever scored in an NBA game. So I kind of like this dynamic of all of these guys fighting for minutes, but also, it creates this system where you can't ever rest.
Yeah, what was our knock on any of these teams, guys? In the past, as good as they were, it was always kind of the athleticism and just being you would see them not suffer, but there were certain times where they weren't able to match other teams' athleticism. Having those guys fly around here has really changed the dynamic. It's just something we haven't really seen here. And again, you mentioned Ugo, you mentioned Walsh, you mentioned Minot, just really excellent athletes. And even Kada, compared to the centers that they've been rolling out there, certainly has more athleticism to him than some of those other guys.
Did you see him on the fast break?
Yeah,
that was something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, I don't know.
Their ball pressure is incredible, and you see it game after game after game. It almost takes teams by surprise because I'm sure they see it on film. I'm sure they anticipate it coming in, but there was a point in the first quarter tonight where they were just sending a second guy over every single time, and they were getting steals over and over and over again. So they got back to the disruptive ways in this one. There's obviously a lot of guys that can do that job, as Noah mentioned there. We've seen it in action, them switch from – we just saw it against the Knicks, Walsh to Ugo, back to Walsh late. So there's an interchangeability there. It is why we asked this question with Walsh. Is he about to emerge into a starter potentially next year alongside Tatum and Brown, and this momentum just keeps building and building and building here? Or is it going to be like Minot, who
we were calling a game changer, and that kind of potential impact player through a 9-game starting stretch for him, only for it to switch over to Walsh right after that. So it's a long year. Yep. I'm super high on what he's doing right now, especially the fact that defense does carry night to night to night. I think that is a potentially big part of him carrying this forward, but we'll have to see, because this is right around the mark where Minot lost his job, right?
Yeah. Well, you know what I forgot up until like a minute ago? Sam Hauser started this game. Legit completely forgot about that. And this isn't a knock on Sam, but you're talking about like what we thought was an area of concern with the Celtics, with Sam Hauser as your only viable wing behind Jaylen Brown, and now him being kind of usurped by other players at that position who are bringing something that this team appears to need more than what he's able to bring. And that's not to minimize some of the good stuff that he's done. I thought he was good last game, and we talked about in the Knicks how they tried to switch and pick on him, and he held his own defensively. But it is interesting how the entire kind of dynamic of what you thought you were going to get from some players on this team is different than what we expected.
I was thinking about that a lot during this game, because it does feel like this system, if somebody's not going to benefit from it, like I think he's talked about this a little bit, like pressuring full court is not like his bread and butter, right?
Right.
The challenge for him so far this season has been that these other guys are shooting the ball better than him, and obviously his shot quality is harder, and he is still going to draw more defense. Everybody in the league knows that Sam Hauser is one of the best shooters out there, but his advantage should be that he's a more reliable shooter. Meanwhile, Josh Minot's shooting 43% from 3 this season. Jordan Walsh, Ugo, they're both shooting like 38% from 3. And so it's just that, like, that's been the kind of an unpredictable dynamic here. And I still think his shot's going to eventually kind of regress towards the mean of around 40% where he always is. But it's been interesting to watch all these guys kind of become 3-point shooting threats, because that would have been his most distinguishing factor. And it just hasn't quite played out like that through 22 games.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting. I'll ask you guys before we put a bow on this game. Are your Derek White concerns, however significant they were, have they been allayed at this point?
Yeah, I think so. I was holding out a little bit after last game. I know we discussed it briefly last time, and Noah had mentioned that she feels like he's through it. I think I'm there now. This was borderline best night in a Celtics uniform statistically. Like, this has got to be right up there in terms of approaching a triple or a 30-point triple-double. Not to call it his best game, but he was excellent and assertive, and feels like he's getting a shot off from every level. We saw the floater in this game. We saw him create his own shot at the buzzer. His ability to lead offense right now, I think, has gone underrated through the start of the year because of the fact that he hasn't shot well. He's run a lot of good pick and roll. He's racked up a ton of assists through some of these games where he might not have shot as well as he usually does here. So, you know me, John, I get a little scared, worried about guys when they're going through shooting slumps, especially when they extend over a long stretch. And I mean, his lasted nearly a quarter of a season.
Small sample sizes.
Quarter of a season.
We like those small sample sizes. Yeah. Yeah.
Quarter of a season's decent, but he's on his way there. And, he talked a little bit about tonight, getting down on himself and having to stay above that, feeling like he's done a better job of that over the years. Because we saw it on his face now when he was missing shots earlier in the year. You're not seeing it as much now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can tell in the way he runs. Like, it's almost less about what the actual stat line or whether the shot goes in. It's so visceral, whether he's feeling it or not. And from the first couple plays of this game, it was clear that he had it. And I think for the last maybe week and a half, he's looked pretty different ever since that Nets game. He's just looked like a different player, playing with a different level of confidence. And, he was averaging 20 points per game, shooting 40% from 3, the 4 games entering this one. Obviously, those numbers are going to continue to rise up. But I think for him more than anybody else, because he expresses what he's feeling so much, it just looks worse when he's struggling to, like, beyond the numbers. And I'm sure it exacerbates the situation. You kind of laugh when you asked him about that, Bobby, but he said he used to be a lot worse at that. But I think the big thing is that our expectations collectively, myself included, fans, national media, were so high of Derek that, like, Jimmy, we're so high of Derek. I mentioned his last show that he might not reach those expectations, but I definitely think when the year is said and done, it's not going to look too dissimilar from his production the last couple of years.
All right. Before we wrap it, we're going to throw this out here, and we're going to ask Jimmy Toscano, the number one Giannis lover out there.
Hold on.
Number one? It has to be Bobby. Bobby said today.
It's a joke.
You're not
Jimmy
getting it.
Jimmy, Jimmy hates him like you
You
hate
hate
Tatum.
Giannis.
No,
and
no.
John, which is
I
crazy.
do not
Oh my
hate
God.
him. I just think he's a little boring. That's all.
He finds this game boring. Anyway, Giannis Antetokounmpo may want to trade, may not want to trade, may be talking out of both sides of his mouth, may be hurt, may have a partially torn Achilles, may just have a calf strain.
No.
Nobody knows. I know.
They do know. They do know.
You know,
Wow.
those calf injuries are always concern me. Like
that
you
was
know,
that looked really bad.
Halliburton had a calf injury, and then
too.
it looked bad. Anyway, he might be out there, so everybody starts thinking, what can I do to get in on this? My question is, do you want a piece of this action, Jimmy? And everybody, do you want the Celtics are not mentioned among the teams that would be considered there. You're talking Spurs, Rockets, teams who are okay. I've got a whole bunch of young stuff and picks. I could load up right now and I could go get another superstar to add to my team. Celtics are not in this conversation. Should they be? Do you want them to be?
How old is Giannis?
30.
I'd pick up the phone. I mean, I think it's you're talking about a top 5 player.
It's
in
Tatum
the
or
league.
Brown. Who's going?
Ooh,
it's got to be.
Or you trade everybody and it's just 3 guys.
Who is everybody? Walsh and Minot.
Yeah, White.
I mean, like
Pritchard.
Hey,
or
put some respect on their names, John.
I
Don't
think
say
you
it like
pick.
that.
You're gonna do
I
your
think-
due diligence if you're the Celtics. You gotta do your
You do.
due diligence. I think. And you're talking, and it's not a knock on on anybody to. If you're in a trade for Giannis, it's close to a 1-for-1 situation, like it would be, or it's relatively close to that. It doesn't mean that like I don't mean it as a disrespect. I just think you got to pick up the phone and at least see what it's going to take, because this is a very rare opportunity to get a guy that's considered by many top 5, top 3 depending on the year, MVP, NBA champion, a guy that can play like 5 positions practically. So yeah, I think it's not going to happen, but it'd be foolish to say no.
Yeah, you got to keep the phone lines open to have that conversation.
Dude, everyone's gonna act like if they're giving him away for Hauser salary matching and a bunch of picks, yeah, you're gonna listen. But I'm saying, let's be realistic. If you're picking up the phone, the words coming out of your mouth are either going to be Tatum or Brown. Are you still?
I think
picking
Brown.
Up the,
I think yeah.
Are you still picking
yeah.
up the phone? Yeah.
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
Yeah. For Brown,
You're picking up the phone, and I don't want to be prisoner of the moment with what Brown's doing right now, because it's been incredible, and it probably should influence what they do if that was going to be a conversation there. And obviously, I brought this up earlier. Noah and I talked about this on a video. People should check out. But I was all for the Durant thing years ago. Remember, like I just loved Durant and where he was at, and just seemed like a no-brainer to add a player of that caliber. And when you look back on it, it would have been the wrong move, and it could have been a potentially costly move, cost you a championship with where things went there. So it feels like a similar conversation, except the value of Jalen is that much more now. And if you want to do something like this,
here's Bobby's 3 trades. Here's the no Brown or Tatum trade that works out money wise.
No Brown.
And it's just so much.
White,
now,
Pritchard, Ugo, Neemish.
Here's a very important detail. Here's a very important detail here.
Yeah.
You gotta get Thanasis to Boston. So
oh my God, I want that. I want
Thanasis. John will pick him up at the airport.
Thanasis and Bobby 1-on-1 to 100. I want to see that game. This is the trade everyone trade. This is the Jalen one that Bobby put up there. Giannis, Jalen, Tillman
player in there, but yeah.
Yeah, and then here's the Tatum one. 1-for-1.
Wow. Well, nobody said that I had to add Tillman to the deal originally when you brought it up, John. So now I'm not
Game
sure.
Game changer.
Bobby, would you make any of those trades?
This kills me. I want to be bold. I want to go, yeah, do it, but I can't. And there's a couple of reasons. One, Giannis's age and the stage of his career. 2, what you have to give up to get there, which certainly would be all your future first, which I actually value more. I know my original stance on this show, my biggest stance was trade all the picks,
go for it. But they're not at that stage right now. They got to develop guys. They got to draft guys. Our whole show so far has been how great they've developed their young players. So you want to see them use these first-round picks on the next stars of the league right now. And it feels like the Jalen Jason thing, if, as we talked about last show, if they can get back to that and surround them with some talent, that feels like their best path forward to contending. The intriguing things, the Tatum, Brown, Giannis thing, if you're trading everything else and can combine those three guys together next year. But I think we just saw that in Phoenix with Durant and Booker and Beal, that having three stars with absolutely nothing around them doesn't work. So I'm probably a no here, even though this is my favorite player in the league and I think the best player in the league. Oh, so you're not scared of him going elsewhere right now, right? Like, who cares if he goes to a different team? Like, that's not where you're at as a team right now, trying to make those decisions. So
Noah, do you want any part of this?
No, in a million years, I would not want to see Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown be traded for Giannis right now, because I think, as we've said a million times in the show, as long as you've had those two guys on your roster, this team has been the team to beat in the East. And so you can hypothesize on how combinations would fit, but historically it doesn't play out the way that reality does. Same way I felt about trading Jalen in the offseason for a stash of picks. Like, what you know works. And at the end of the day, these two guys have worked well together. And the other thing is, I like Giannis a lot. Obviously, he's an incredible talent, but I do think that it's possible, and I don't know this for sure, but it's possible that his best days are more behind them than we realize, just because of, again, he's 30, is not that old, but he is a guy that relies quite a bit on his athleticism. And I think that you've seen in the last couple of years, he's dealt with a bunch of injuries. Like, I don't know that that's the case. I hope it's not. I'd love to see him play lots of great more basketball in the future, but I just would not blow something up like this. Not to mention the fact that there's the reality of like just, you don't want to trade one of the heart and soul of your team the way that franchises have done in recent years. And you've seen how that has played out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's going to age better?
I wouldn't feel good about it. It's not like something easy that it would be able to do, but
the logic, Jimmy, is the hedge on the Tatum Achilles situation.
Right.
Like, that's
right.
There's the gamble right now would be Giannis's age versus Tatum's Achilles. I have no problem with splitting them up if you were to get positional versatility out of the deal,
which is up the Jays.
but I don't know too. I might agree with Noah on that like, I am a little worried that like he's 30, but that's a hard 30, you know, like he came in as a kid, and he's an aggressive physical player that takes a beating. It's dad ball with him. You know, we talk about the whistle Jaylen Brown doesn't get. Giannis gets fouled 100 times, every single time he touches the ball, because people just bounce off him. Like, he's a really, really physical dude. That definitely is going to wear on you. Plus, he's not a shooter. I don't know. He fits in the Missoula situation. I think it's a tough trade to make here.
I don't think they do it. And you're right. The shooting thing is a problem. And
big problem.
Was there something between Missoula and Giannis, or did I make that up? There's been a lot of. There's been
Jalen and Giannis. Jalen.
Yeah. There's been Jalen and
the
Giannis.
fake high five. Someone did that to me today.
And Jalen said Giannis is a child. He said Giannis is a child.
I believe. You did say Giannis is a child. Yeah.
Yes, that's what it was.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah. I'm certainly not beating down the door to make that. I'm not going to like pump that trade out.
You have to look into it. I mean, every single team in the NBA is going to look into it, right?
He's amazing. Oh man, it kills me that just didn't work out. And yeah, I felt that way about Durant too. Like, these are two of my favorite players in the league, and you would love to see them in Boston. I mean, the vibe of it, right? But 2021, when that vibe was at its peak, was a little while ago now. Not to say he's declined overly, but you're right. There are age concerns and decline concerns with his style of play, John, that worry me. But who is there more concerned about physically long term, him or Jalen? Because they're both similar.
We thought Jalen also. They're close in this age.
Tatum
came in early. But
and Tatum has the Achilles. Great point.
We did think Brown was entirely reliant on his athleticism for his success, and he's shown this year that with either slightly reduced or just simply not using his his athleticism to its fullest, he's been as or more effective than he's been in a couple of years. I don't know if Giannis would necessarily be the same, because he is such a bulldog. So I don't know that his game can evolve or adapt without his physicality into something that's going to still be of the same quality. So that would be a concern of mine. Lakers come in tomorrow. We talked about it. We don't know if Luka's going to play or not. He's with his wife overseas for their, I think, second child. For a second, or I'm not sure actually. But they don't know if he's going to make it back. I think the hope was that he might make it back for this one. But that would definitely put a damper a little bit on the matchup tomorrow when they take on the Lakers.
I have a hot take for tomorrow, and I said this at the game tonight.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be LeBron's last game at TD Garden.
You think the 43-year-old might retire?
Whoa.
Yeah.
He's 41.
I think what we're seeing,
I'm just kidding.
the Lakers situation.
You saw what he did tonight, right, Bobby?
Incredible. I was locked in every second of it.
Bobby, you don't think LeBron's going to go on a
sacrificed
farewell
his
tour?
streak.
Come on.
He sacrificed his streak for the W. He could have just floated that up there, tried to hit it, and gone to overtime. Sacrificed it for the dub.
You don't think that LeBron's going to get the farewell tour, Bobby? Yeah. Come on. Give me a break.
It's a great story for everyone but Nick. But yes, it is.
I think he and the Lakers are done. He will have the opportunity after this year to go elsewhere. I don't think he's going to go elsewhere.
There's no way he doesn't do a full-blown retirement tour, Bobby.
I think he does.
Bobby.
Yeah,
there is a way. It's a small percent chance.
Nope. You said 0% chance.
No. I corrected myself.
We got her. We got her.
Boom, got her.
Now it's definitely happening.
True. If my word has anything to do with Bobby's, then yes.
Anyway, as we said, tomorrow these guys are coming back. We'll have the full crew again tomorrow night, I believe, for the Celtics and the Lakers.
I can't believe I didn't get a press pass. Idiot.
Which is not, Jimmy. You got to tell me a little earlier. I get you in there. Celtics once again defeat the Wizards 146-101. It was just a ridiculous game here. Big Jordan Walsh night, big Derek White night, big Ugo night, nice night from Neemias Queta as well. And again, no team in the NBA should lose by 45 points. So this is just, certainly not to another team missing its best player. This was just a disgusting display by the Wizards. We thank you guys.
We didn't read any of the super chats.
Oh, geez. Let me get through some of them. I apologize, guys. A few super chats in here. What's the official Walsh nickname?
Oh,
Desert Vulture. We're trying.
We're still looking. Keep sending them in.
The Wizards, yeah.
Send all your nickname ideas to John Zannis on Twitter.
Thank you. These guys are tanking. They're tanking. It's tanky. They know how to do it. It's not working, but they know what they're
in the tank game.
They know what they're doing. Jalen no number one option over Tatum ever in his life. I don't know. We weren't even talking about that, but thank you, Tom, for your contribution.
I don't even know what that.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
My brain won't let me comprehend that.
Damon Crabb, real question. Is Queta showing he has a spot in Boston long term? Yeah, guys, right?
Send him 20 million.
20 million, everybody. And you get 20 million.
You get a
20 million.
deal.
You get 20 million, and you get.
He's your third center.
Yeah, they already let Luke go.
He's your first center, baby.
Twice, are they?
He deserves first center money.
Yeah. Let's throw this one out from Thomas. Don't think JT fans will come to see him be a number 2. Last show, y'all said he would be that behind JB. We didn't really. What I see, Bobby, you know what I said that your take is going to be? Because Walsh is playing so well, when Tatum returns, my Bobby Manning prediction is you're going to suggest that he comes off the bench.
I've already said it.
Tatum?
Yep.
That is such a Bobby
crazy. That's not crazy.
For like a day,
you know how political satire became impossible in the last 4 or 5 years because it was too close to reality. Like, I can't even skewer Bobby over the ridiculous things I think he might say because he's actually saying them.
That's not a crazy thing to say.
Bobby. It's an insane thing to say. I should have ended this stream. I can't
He's your
believe
franchise.
this is on.
The face of your franchise.
I can't believe this is on record.
When he gets back, he's going to have to ease his way in. I think that's a great way to do it, especially if they're heading into the playoffs.
Will he be back
He said
this
yesterday
year?
he's not going to come back till he's 100% ready. So.
Yeah. And we're going to throw this out here. Gregory, fun show. Thank you. And it was a fun show. We were definitely a little goofy, having fun.
Show. That's a wizard show, folks.
It's a Wizards show. That's how you
What
do
a
Wizards
Wizard show.
shows.
Hour 40. Who does that on a 45-point game?
Who does that on the first night of a back-to-back against the Wizards?
We do.
And we will be at
Send
TD
in-
Garden tomorrow.
Send in your Spotify or YouTube proof of viewership and listenership, and discounts will be flying.
Yeah. Who controls the British crown?
The merch store. Right,
Who
Bobby?
keeps the metric system down? We do.
We need a Patriot shirt. We need a Patriot
Yeah.
shirt, by the way.
No, we don't. Not today.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do, Sherrod. More than
We'll see ya.
you don't want to see the Eagles. You don't want to see the Patriots this year, Sherrod. If you're the Eagles, you do not want to see the Patriots.
Are you an Eagles fan?
Sherrod is an Eagles fan.
Bring that smoke.
He's
It's
not
been a nice run.
They're kind of struggling.
It's a
too bad.
Syracuse fan, too.
We're bored.
That's
He's not afraid. Oh, Syracuse lost to BC. That's bad. We
That
didn't even
hurt.
talk about that.
Oh my god!
I was there for that. I was live and in person for that one.
Did it make a sound? Oh, you were there for that?
They got their
Oh,
doors
no.
blown off.
That's
yeah.
We had a walk on quarterback, so that's another story for another day.
Yeah.
And they
All right,
recruited
guys.
a singer.
Yeah, we do have to end it. We are going to end it, but we're
All
back
right.
tomorrow, so we'll see you in less than 24 hours.
Friday night.
Celtics Lakers postgame show Friday night. You might get Friday night Jimmy. It was a Lakers game when it was a Lakers game when Friday night Jimmy was born.
No,
I'll
one
let
doesn't
you
know
know
about
that.
this one.
Historic
boy.
game. That was a historic night. You know what?
Oh my!
I might have the eggnog.
let's run
I
it
think I
back
might
for
have
me.
the eggnog flowing for tomorrow night's game. Now that I'm thinking about
The
it, I'm gonna
eggnog.
get the
You're not at the
eggnog.
game.
That's what they call it now. Eggnog.
We'll get some eggnog for the game tomorrow. How about that? Ho,
Good
ho,
night, all.
ho.
Yeah, be nice to each other. Don't interrupt one another. Everyone be friends. Hang out. We'll see you
Yes.
guys tomorrow. Take care.